Welcome to another Charter Communications Local Edition. I'm Al Travis. In with us today, Superintendent of Schools for Rochester, Michael Munoz. Thank you very much for coming on the program.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
A lot of stuff going on. I mean, Rochester itself, the city, ballooning. I mean, this is one of those cities. It was ranked in the top 50 in the country to live in. It's expanding almost exponentially. Gotta add problems, maybe good problems, but issues for the superintendent of schools.
Well, obviously, you know, whenever you have that kind of growth, you're going to have an increase in enrollment, and we've, you know, the 6 years I've been here, we've had an increase by almost 1,500 students over that time period, and I think this year we were right about 300 new students. So that's not an issue, but it's something that we have to work on and address. And one of the things that goes with all that growth is a need for a workforce. And sure. One of the things that we're really excited about this fall, we just opened up our new Career and Technical Center, and it's called C-Tech. Okay. And it's located on the RCTC campus, which makes it kind of unique as well.
But for folks that don't know what that means, what is a new technology center?
It's basically some of the traditional back in the day industrial tech type of classes that we might have had when we were in school, and but really what we did is we partnered with about 35 different businesses in our community and said what we're hearing is that you have a shortage of workers, so what kind of skills do you need for those jobs that you have open? And then we developed career pathways to try to address some of that. And the new center opened up this fall, and we have a little over 1,600 students enrolled in that the first year, which is a little surprising for us as we been working on this, visited other sites in Minnesota, and they told us, you know, don't get discouraged that first year or two because it's going to take a little while to build your program up. But surprisingly, we had over 1,600 students enrolled, and there's 7 different pathways. The first one obviously is going to be the Health Career Science program with Mayo Clinic here. You know, that's going to be a popular one as well. And then we have agriculture, manufacturing, and construction. Another important one in Rochester is hotel hospitality, so that is one of the pathways. And then with technology the way it is, IT is the other pathway because of, you know, everything's becoming use of computers and so on, so we want to give skills to students to address those types of jobs. So there's 7 different pathways that kids can enroll in, and each of the pathways has 4 classes. And some of the classes they're going to earn both college and high school credit. And some of them are designed where they can complete the program. For example, in the health career science, we have a CNA program where they can get their CNA license out of high school and go right into the workforce.
Oh, by the time they get out of high school, they have got whatever degrees or certificates they need to then go right into the workforce.
Right. Yeah, so some of the programs are set up that way, and some of them are designed where they may need to take another year or so at RCTC to get that full certification. And the good part about the program is it's also designed for that student who's looking at a 4-year college, or that student who's looking at a community college, or the student who's looking at entering into the workforce right out of high school.
Well, it's an interesting idea, and it's a great idea in that not everyone necessarily has to get a 4-year degree in whatever, you know, not every business needs that. So if you can get them already in the workforce, I mean, right out of school, you're saving possibly hundreds of thousands of dollars to get into a career that you don't have to spend just to get a college degree. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I think that's a great opportunity for students and for families. And, you know, for example, one of the programs we have in there is welding. My understanding is right now out of school they could make about $50,000 a year just being a welder, so a startup welder. So I think it's just a great opportunity for kids, no matter what type of career opportunity they're looking for.
Reading up on things you've got going on, this preschool center, what is that? It's the other end of the spectrum, I take it. Evidently this is getting into school.
Yeah, one of the things that we've been noticing the last few years, not only here in Rochester but in Olmsted County, there's a lot of students who just don't have access to a quality preschool program. And you know, we offer a lot of schools preschool programming, but we weren't meeting the needs of the demand. So we are this January we'll open up a new preschool. It used to be our old Burr Oak building out on southeast on Marion Road, and it's now called the Mighty Oaks Preschool. So we're excited about that. We're hoping about 300 students that will have access to preschool once that building opens up.
So this is pre-kindergarten, is that what?
Yeah, pre-kindergarten, yes.
And what's it take for someone from the community to get into that? Is it a voucher program?
Well, it's set up. Some students that qualify for special ed services will have access, and then Usually every class is half of the students are special ed and then the other half are what we call gen ed students. And there's a variety of ways that they can get in, full tuition, or we do have a sliding scale for those who can't afford the full cost of that.
Okay. And then the last thing we should talk about is this new transportation study you're involved with. Tell me what that's about.
Yeah, one of the things that we've been hearing at least the last 2 or 3 years from our parents and from community members is that our secondary students need more sleep, and there's a lot of research done by Mail and others that that age of student needs a lot more hours of sleep than what they're currently getting. And so we've been trying to find a way to do that. And right now, we're such a large district, not only are we responsible for transporting our students, over 17,000 students, we provide transportation for the private schools and the faith-based schools as well in Rochester. So that's a lot of students that you have to get around. And currently, the company that we contract doesn't have enough buses or drivers where we can pick every student up at the same time in the morning and then drop them off at the end of the day at the same time. So because of that, we have to run a 2-tiered system. And so right now, our secondary students, we start picking them up at 6:30 in the morning, which is not allowing them to get the sleep that they need. So we're hoping by partnering with the city, the city's doing a big transportation study, and we're hoping to partner with them down the road that maybe our high school students could ride city buses to school, which would be fewer students that we'd have to transport, and then maybe we could get to a one-tiered system where all of our students could start at the same time and end at the same time.
Right, and that's the hope at the end of this study.
Yeah.
All right, and then one last question before you do take off. Do you get some sort of what's coming next, a forward look in that the DMC is coming here, and I presume more businesses, more people, more. Do you have any idea how the growth is going to go, and then what that's going to mean for you in the next?
Well, I think
10 years?
I think enrollment-wise, we're going to continue to see student enrollment. We're pretty fortunate that we're a district that we're experiencing a lot of growth, and some districts are going the other way and are looking at closing schools. And because of our growth, I think we'll have to probably the next 3 or so years have to open up a new school to accommodate our enrollment as it grows. And then back to the current technical center, when we designed that building, we knew that would probably have to expand. So we designed it so we could build off of it 2 different directions. And so I see, because of the growth and because of the new demands of the workforce due to DMC, we're going to have to provide other career pathways as well.
Do you as superintendent find it an issue finding quality teachers to step up? You must have to decide how many and who you're going to hire on a yearly basis. Just constantly. Yeah,
we hire roughly about 200 employees a year. Not all our teachers. Okay. Some of our on our operational side as well. Sure. But we do have a few areas that we have a little difficulty finding teachers. Probably the biggest one is special ed. There's just not a lot of special ed teachers out there. So, and that's something that every district is dealing with in Minnesota and really across the country. It's really difficult to find.
But you're quite diverse. I suppose ESL would be another one, English as a second language?
Yeah, we're pretty fortunate that we haven't had a big issue with that, but I think as that population grows, then that may become an issue. But really right now it's special ed, and then the current technical programming is getting to be a challenge for us in the future, because not only does that teacher have to have a teacher's license, they have to have a CT certification as well.
So maybe we've got to set up a school to get those people that. Yeah. All right, we have run out of time. I thank you very much for taking time to come on our program. I really do. This is Superintendent of Schools for Rochester, Michael Munoz. I'm Al Travis. That's another Charter Communications Local Edition.